Thank you, Mary. Okay, 6 o'clock, we're starting. So we are called to order. And I really wanted to start with going over, and some of you that have been places in Arkansas that I have been recently, or in the Springfield area, you're kind of aware of the strategic plan for the year, but I did want to go over it for those of the lieutenant governors who haven't heard me thus far. And we do have specific intentional goals for the year that we really need to meet to help our clubs flourish. First thing we're going to do is,
I got more people coming in, Carla, sorry.
that's okay,
Okay.
dear, they can come in, but we're started.
Okay.
We're going to empower our clubs to improve the club experience so that every member actually feels that they have value in their membership, and any potential new members that visit our clubs really find our clubs attractive. In 2021, we began updating training for our club coaches. So that is in place. Thank you, Barbara. And everybody that's on this call, please, if you have not already done that, if you would do it, I would be ever so grateful. It takes 1.5 hours of your time. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, and it's on Zoom. We need to re-energize and reinvigorate the clubs that have been struggling through the pandemic. We do have the 2021 MOARC membership contest, more on that to follow in details. We continue to need more hands for service. In that vein, we will be intentional to add a minimum of 500 new members this year. And we are looking at opening 5 new clubs in MOARC, while working diligently to strengthen our existing clubs who possess all of the knowledge and experience that really makes Kiwanis a wonderful place. The kids are counting on you. We are really blessed to have a connection to Kiwanis International, an awesome community service organization, and its whole family of clubs, Action, K-Kids, Builders, Key Club, and CKI. Please be aware, and please make sure that all of your clubs are aware that the KI programs to restart all the SLPs that have been dormant for the last 2 years, there will be no back dues nor any penalties. Just get your clubs reorganized and get them back on the rolls with KI. It won't cost them a thing but this year's dues. Needed to let you know that I plan on posting regularly on the MOARC Facebook page. If you are not a member of that page, please join. And please encourage your clubs to join, because there's a lot of awesome sharing and things that go on that page. So it's a good place to be. My selected governors project for this year is Beatrice Johnson Kiwanis Youth Camp. It is a project near and dear to my heart, and even more so now that I've actually put my feet in it. The whole story of Kiwanis and how we don't share the wonderful information about Kiwanis, Beatrice Johnson just shines a light on what we can accomplish if we tell folks our story. I mean, this 160 acres was donated to Missouri, Arkansas by a woman that was never, ever a member of Kiwanis. Just heard wonderful things about what we do for kids and gave us this land to build what we've got on it thus far. I will have further in the program information on the mid-year regional meetings. And lastly, we will be singing songs. We are family. That is what's on my sweet little pin. And we are going to be singing Sister Sledge until we're just almost tired of it in the Kiwanis version. But I really think it'll bring smiles with a little bit of silliness onto everybody's face. And I did my 10 minutes in 5. Woohoo! Okay, is Roy on here? Roy.
I am on.
Thank you, Roy. Okay, Roy, would you please give us the details of the membership contest so all the lieutenant governors can get it?
Okay, well, membership contest started October the 1st. We're doing it on a slightly smaller scale from last year's first one, but it will last a month longer. And we're starting with the Kiwanis year because it's just a lot less confusing to do it that way. I haven't received the sheet yet for the 1st of October, but the column for October will be what our starting place is for each club, and clubs are automatically entered. The winners will be determined by the greatest percentage of increase between October 1st and March the 31st of 2022. And we'll have 2 different groups, just like we did last year. Group A will be for clubs with 30 or more members, and Group B will be for those with fewer than 30 members, according to what that sheet shows for October 1st. And we will be giving $15,000 worth of grants, $7,000 and for those in Group A, 4 places with 2 awards for 4th place, and Group B, $8,000 with 4 awards for 4th place. And Paul has all this information on the front page of our website, so you can look at the details there, and if anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer them, but I think everything is laid out there. And I'll be doing an update as the race proceeds.
Roy, it will be in the newsletter, which will be coming out later this week. So pass that information on to your clubs between the website and the Kiwanagram. But we won't get the membership list until probably later in the middle of the month, probably around the 15th or 16th.
They said the 20th in the email I just got.
So any members, new members from October 1st forward count?
October, after October 1st, that number that is on that sheet will be on that sheet actually is September 30th, and that's the closest thing we can get to October 1st. So any new members after the 1st of October will count.
And we've gotten a few. I'm shocked, but we've gotten a
We
few
got
new members
6.
already.
We got 6. So that's why I wanted to make sure.
I know, I was proud of you, Pat.
But you did make sure you didn't put them on till
I put them on, I dated them October 1st.
Yeah, they came through just, to be quite honest, I think they only came through my computer like yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, I waited because they wouldn't let you do them until the 5th or I don't know, whatever day. So, yeah.
Right, we could drop until the 10th, but we could add, we could add as of October 1st, but we couldn't get in to add till the 4th.
Yeah.
Okay, then we're moving on to update on new club growth and planning. Barbara, please.
Okay,
Excuse me before Barbara starts. I'm sorry, Barb.
That's okay.
Nancy Hoff has to leave early, and she was going to give a report on our food drive that we did at the convention. I don't think we've ever actually made that announcement to the group.
That would be
Okay.
great. Thank you, Nancy.
Okay. Very quickly, we collected 1 pickup load and 1 SUV load of food. Took it to the VFW in Jonesboro. Correct me if I'm wrong, Susan. They so appreciated, the veterans So appreciated all that Missouri Arkansas District did. We had members from that area that helped to get the food and distribute it as they came through the VFW. And I want to thank Susan for hooking us up with them, and it was quite successful. And that's my report.
Thank you very much for giving us the details, Nancy.
You're welcome.
Okay, over to Barb.
Thank you. So on the new club opening, we have planned at this point, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 locations. I don't know that we'll get to all of them this year, but they include Town and Country, which is in St. Louis County. A new arrival on the horizon is this town of Goodman in McDonald County, from a young woman named Danielle DeMarco, who's not in Kiwanis, but is very knowledgeable about it and wants to build has just moved back to her hometown of Goodman and wants to build a Kiwanis club there to serve the town of Goodman. She and I have been talking back and forth. She's done a site survey. It may become McDonald County. The third one is a Bosnian club in South St. Louis County, and Carla is getting some contacts on that. I'm going to actually talk to someone who built a Hispanic club based on a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And I have a contact, but I haven't gotten to speak to them, that built a Filipino club in Detroit. So I think those will be good models for us. Springfield North is our fourth club, and it is a rebuild. And is Les is not on this.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I'm on.
Les, what are we going to do? We were going to do a boost with that. What was that?
Well, we basically it'll just be a new club because the other one's folded, but we just need to do a kind of a survey of the area some way or another of businesses
Absolutely.
are interested, and see which ones we can get, interest, and then have some kind of a meeting somewhere in that locality. I think that'd be the best way to go about it.
Okay, good. Thank you. And I have down people to help with that are me and Carla, Les, and Billy Claiborne, hoping that maybe Robin might be able to help us. Our fifth one is East End, and AC and Ed Alvarez and Susan, I have their names down. And AC, you've done some work, preliminary work there, correct?
You're muted, AC.
Where is this East End located?
It is in the population area of Little Rock, but it's not in the county that Little Rock is in. It's on the east end of Little Rock, and that's why it's called that.
Okay.
But it's the
it's
name
in-
of a subdivision.
It's in Hensley, Arkansas.
Right. AC, you're unmuted now. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. I haven't done much on it lately because I was waiting for the schools. They're the ones that are really excited, but I'm waiting for them to allow us in the school to talk to the principal. And I'll see what we can get going with Susan and Ed's assistant.
Excellent. And when we talked about this before, you had indicated that Benton would be the sponsoring club. Is that still true?
I cannot speak just yet. I'd have to ask them. We've lost 17 of our members, so I'll talk to them tomorrow, but we'll try.
Okay, well, it's a good way to find new members for Benton too, so maybe you can
Yes.
use that. We
Yes.
also want to do another club in Little Rock proper because we're actually down to 2 clubs in Little Rock. And the population there can support many more than 2 clubs. We formerly had 5. So John Goss said he would help. Ralph McCormick said he would help. Ron Hill didn't say he would, but I know he will. And Susan LaFond. I was hoping that Conway would help, would be the sponsoring club, but I haven't talked to them. Then we have 2 more, Columbia, there's an interest in a Golden K, and Branson has been highly recommended by Kiwanis International. So those are our 8 clubs on the list.
David, do you have any further information about Columbia?
That's the first time I heard that there was any interest in Golden K, since Golden K is just in the middle of folding right now. So
Yeah.
The gentleman that you and I had talked about previously,
yeah, that's not, at least not at this time. There's not any action on that.
okay, is he totally cold to the idea, or would there be a way that we might help him do something if he,
I think if he could get cooperation from the retirement center that they live in, he would be all for doing it. He's a very good Kiwanis member. I mean, not anymore. He used to be, but he was a 40-some year member with our club, and him and his wife both actually. So, well, she wasn't that long, but he was.
What's their name?
Wayne Beheimer, Wayne and Joe Beheimer.
Okay.
How
I'm
do
sure
you spell that, David?
it's Behymer.
Okay. Well, I had something so far away from that, you wouldn't have recognized it. So thank you.
It's not an easy word, easy name to spell. We're personal friends with him, or I probably couldn't have spelled it either.
Well, thank you. Okay.
Barb, what was that last city that you said, or last area?
Branson,
Oh, Branson, okay.
Oh,
because
Branson.
it's
Where I
growing.
can help, Barb.
Pardon?
I'm in Kimberlin City now, so I could help down at Branson to get one started maybe.
Robin, I think you already told me that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna put your name in right now. That's wonderful. And I think that Danielle DeMarco, who's the one wanting the club in Goodman, also has some connections in Branson. We should have a lot of connections in Branson, actually. Don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know anybody that used to be in the Branson Club, but you know, if somebody knows somebody down there, maybe we can get some of those back.
Right. Yeah, and we can get that list from Renee. So, okay, and so that's my report on new clubs. And I'd like to introduce Ralph McCormick. A lot of you know him. He's a immediate past Lieutenant Governor of Division 20, and he is willing to help revive some of our clubs that just had a heart attack. And so he's a skilled doctor at that. And Ralph, I've been talking to people, and I have such good news for you.
Good.
Is Derek on?
Yes.
Derek?
yes,
Spoke
Derek
with-
is right here, yes.
Hey, Derek. It's so good to see you. Derek was so gracious as to talk to me last night, and he's very supportive of trying to revive the Farmington Area Club. And so that is really awesome. Do you want to say anything about it, Derek?
I'll be honest, I believe I saw Mr. Blake Robertson on. He probably has a little bit more information than I do about Farmington. The reason I say that is they had already folded by the time I moved into this role, and short of a couple of bowling tournaments that they had the Huntsville Club participated in, I've really never had contact with them. I mean, obviously we would love to have them back, because I believe I have currently 5 down from 7 clubs in my division. So obviously, if we can get them back, that would be ideal.
Right. So,
The only, Barbara and Derek, the only contact that I had with Farmington was Rachel there at the library. And she did not seem interested, but I think the load of the club had been placed on her. So it probably would, especially with the additional subdivisions, Derek, going in Farmington, you've probably got several hundred new families going in there. It might be worth the while.
Sure, I agree.
great. Okay, so Ralph, can we put Ralph in touch with you, Blake, to get some contacts, and then you also, Derek?
Absolutely.
Great, thank you. And
Yeah.
then I talked to Troy Massey, who was the one who was Lieutenant Governor when Searcy County, which he opened, decided to close. And when I called him to talk to him about this, listen to this, Ralph. He's going, if you do this, he's going to hug your neck and buy you a steak dinner.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh, ooh.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll take the steak dinner, but the hug,
Yeah.
yeah, okay?
No, no, no.
Yeah, I'll take the steak dinner.
Anything
And,
for Quantas.
Yeah,
And-
anything for Kiwanis. I'll take a hug, okay.
Okay. And also, Troy said that he would help, and that he gave me the name of the president who he thought would help, and also Jim Briscoe. Is Jim on tonight?
No,
No.
it's not.
But Troy volunteered Jim, and he said that he is related to everybody south of the Buffalo River, and Beverly is related to everybody north of the Buffalo River. So he has some names for you. You just have to run if he starts to hug you.
That's right.
I'm a big boy. I can handle a hug from a guy. Come on.
Okay.
Um,
So,
So
um,
after that intro, can we have Ralph say a little bit, please?
yes.
Thank you very much, Barb. I appreciate that. But you know, what we have here is a situation where club retention, revitalization, and strengthening is something that Carla has talked to me about, and it's very important to me because I firmly believe in Kiwanis. I believe in what we can do for children, and I don't want these clubs that I know we have 18 that could potentially be have their charters revoked or suspended. And that's too high. I know we have lots of clubs, but it's better to try to save them. And if you're a lieutenant governor with clubs that haven't met for a long time and are faced with club revoking or suspension, then please call me. My number is 479-970-1001. I'll give it to you later. It is possible that I might be calling you because I know the clubs, I know the ones that are hurting, and the one goal that Carla said, bring them back to life and give you a little bit of history. Some of you already know this, but as Lieutenant Governor on March the 1st of 2021, I acquired 7 clubs, 2 of which were meeting. That's a real challenge. To top it off, the division had no lieutenant governor for 5 years. And you can't hear me, can't you? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm sitting here talking, maybe they can't hear me, but anyway. But the thing was that in that period of time from March the 1st until sometime probably in August, I was able to flip 5 clubs. They were all not meeting, some for 2 years. It was a very humongous challenge, but I have the fun of my life. It was just way too much fun. I believe I should be paying you guys for what I did.
I'll take it.
You'll
We'll
take-
talk about that, yes.
We
Okay,
need the
Carla.
money, Ralph. We need the money.
Oh, my goodness. I opened my mouth the wrong direction. Carla and AC, thank you, gentlemen, ladies, thank you so much. But I believe it's easier to save a club that has been underwater than it is to go out and build a new one and then keep it going for 3 or 4 years to make sure it survives. In my past life in Kiwanis, I built clubs and they lasted 2 years. Why? Because the club that built them, I'm guilty as could be, didn't go in there, didn't go every week, didn't follow through. It is a major chore to keep them going. And I think all of you will agree with me on that. This last club that just today, I went and presented a governor's award to Paris, Arkansas, Lisa Gerard. She was the governor or the president of the club. I'm going to tell you right now, I talked with her. I spoke with her from March 1st until August, whatever it was. And I'll be honest with you, there were so many times that I just explained to her, okay, if you don't want to meet again, here's what you need to do to close the club down and shut the charter down. That's how close it was. And my final, I called AC and I told him, I said, I'm going to do this. I don't know if it's legal or not, but I'm going to threaten them with, if they don't do something in 2 months, Moark's going to pull their charter, which would happen anyway. And so I told him, and so I called her that last time. And you know, the first words out of her mouth was, I think we're going to go ahead and try one meeting. I go, you got to be kidding me. That's exactly what I wanted. So it was a 96-year-old club. Today, I gave her the governor's award for performance, and she did, because I just pestered her. Yes, Barbara Gadfly. I pestered her and nicely and easily. You don't have to force them. You can't force them. You just put it to them that this is what we are here to help you. And can you imagine how many kids that have helped? That club has helped in 96 years. Come on, we might get another 96 out of them. There was like 12 members there today. And it was fun. It was fun. And I go back next week and I will do the induction of their officers. They requested that I do it, and I will do so. So what a lieutenant governor can do, and this is just a quick breakdown. My mission is basically to show lieutenant governors how to do what I did, which is flip things around where it doesn't look like failure and they're going to close down. And do I guarantee success? I don't know. I will tell you this, that if you'll put the time into it as a lieutenant governor, I will be there side by side with you if necessary. And we can do what I did. I flipped 5 clubs in 5 months. We have 18 clubs right now, and I can tell you who they are and the lieutenant governors. And what I want to do is I want you to know, if you've got one of those clubs, contact me and I'll work with you. The best thing we can do is find a way to communicate with the clubs, communicate, find their problems. Each one is different. It's not easy. Go to POA, a plan of action, build one, but work with the club. I never forced anybody. I never, ever threatened. The closest I came to it was with Paris, and she doesn't know that. I didn't tell her today. I just complimented her and presented her with the governor's award. I think it was worthy because she could have pulled the plug on that club anytime she wanted. And trust me, my new lieutenant governor told me, he said, there's no way she's going to turn it around. She's going to pull the plug. I said, it ain't over. It ain't over. I haven't seen the final blow yet. So I stayed with her and worked with her. So the thing you can do is plan of action, work it out, execute a weekly email to clubs, stay with them, make sure they know that you're there as lieutenant governor, educate the clubs, and then set goals. Our lieutenant, or the officers, not the club, but the officers, and then set goals with the officers about opening or not opening again. Advise them, follow up. Keep talking to them. Yes, over and over and over. Stop it. I see you, Mary. You're mocking me. This is
It was
not
just too
the time.
easy. It was too easy. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You won't bother me, trust me. My message is basically to be able to get us as a club to bring those 18 clubs back. And if you have some that are not maybe in the CR range, but they're potentially going to go there, I'm here to work with you. Carla has given me the ability and the strength to do what needs to be done, and I'm prepared to spend my time to do it. And yes, some of you know I live in Colorado, but I flipped 2 clubs from Colorado. Hello, it's not that it can't be done. It's just that you just have to put the effort out. So anyway,
Greg, Ralph, Greg has a question, I think.
okay,
Yeah,
go.
Ralph, excuse me, I apologize. I got another meeting to attend and was just curious, is there going to be some minutes of the rest of this or all of the meeting that we'll share?
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
I've got it
great.
recorded, so I'll write it all down and send it out to y'all.
Great, great. Thanks, everyone.
And
Thank you,
Bye,
Mary
Greg.
Vaughn.
And it looks
Bye.
like, Greg, it looks like Mary and I both put Ralph's phone number in the chat box, so you could copy that down if you have time before you leave. Or Mary will probably put it in the minutes, but anyway.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Carla, if you can hear me, just a clarification. Ralph didn't just take off on his own and present that governor's award. He had my blessings to do that. I don't want him to think he's governor and he can do by God what he wants to, because he's still got to answer to us.
Thank you, AC. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
You were a lieutenant governor. We were governors.
Obviously, there some of you think that I'm just kind of steps outside the box. No, AC gave me permission. He did. And AC gave me permission to go to them and say, you're going to lose your charter. Because I try not to overstep boundaries. And AC said, no, I think you can do that. But I didn't have to do it, AC. I mean, I went to them ready to do it and I popped it out and I didn't even say it. And she said, I think we're going to try to meet again. And I said, whoa, that works really good. Let's go with that. But
Well, you know, Ralph, just to go off of that, I'm sorry, I don't want to break your train of thought, but you know, guys, if there's any of you that have a situation like that, talk to Carla. I am quite sure that she could help wherever. And if it takes giving them a certificate or a pat on the back or something like that to keep them going, we're all for that.
So
yeah, it's very important. I awarded 3 governor's awards during my term as lieutenant governor, and I did it with AC's permission. Not that I would ever do it without it. He had to give me the award, so I had to do it. But the 3 I did because 2 people helped the clubs together. When and you'd be surprised how their face just shines. They radiate, and to get it. And both of the people that I gave first held the clubs open for that period of time during COVID. They closed some. And then this one was special because it was a 96-year-old club. There's no way in heaven's earth that she was going to keep that club open. There was no way. I talked to her over and over. And that's why I've said before, do not assume that because they're telling you they don't want to meet again, that it's going to stop. I'm telling you right now, work with them, and I can teach you how to do it. I've had a lot of training, trust me, in the 5 or 6 months there. But anyway, we worked hard to get this division back. All 7 clubs are now meeting in Division 20, and when I took over, two of them were meeting. So it took many miles to do it. It took many phone calls to do it, and to me, it was worth every minute of it to be able to do it. Then Carla says, would you mind doing this to help us? And I said, sure, it's not as hard as you think. But if you're a lieutenant governor that has these problems and you know of clubs that are that way, give me a call. You know, my number is 479-970-1001. And no matter where I am, that phone will reach me. And I will be able to walk you through some. But I'll tell you this much. If you need help, I'll drive to wherever you are to save these clubs. It's not impossible. All we have to do is work together, be very careful. I like to use the analogy that plants and trees can be killed 2 ways. One with too much water And the second way is water starvation. Clubs are the same. You give them too much information and too many threats that they have to do it, it's not going to work. If you give them the right amount of attention and advice, you can save them. Our trick is to find the correct amount for every club. And trust me, every club is definitely different. There's no way you can get around it. Every problem is different. So you have to communicate with them, analyze, find the problems, and execute it. So if you have an issue in your clubs or in your division, call me and we'll put you first on the list. And I'm ready to go as long as you're ready to do it. We can save 18 clubs, maybe 15. I don't know. I saved all of them, and would I bet you money on saving 5 out of 7 clubs? No, I probably wouldn't have wagered, but I know the strength in determination and the love for Kiwanis and to bring people back to meeting again. It is possible. Thank you very much for your time.
So,
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you, Ralph. We'll be working together, and I wanted to talk to you, Ralph, about prioritizing those 18 clubs. So we can talk in the next few days about prioritizing the clubs.
Sure.
And then there's also revitalization that's going on, not with clubs that have said they're leaving, but with clubs that said they need help. And so if there are clubs like that, if you contact me and I'll work with Ralph. Also, there's a small committee of Patsy McGuire and Harlan Fritzen and Mary Vaughn and myself who went to Chillicothe. I just talked to Robbie, Mary, and they got 2 new members out of that effort, but they're not entering them till this year.
Right, that's fine. That's
And
good.
yeah, and they want us to come back late. They want us to call them in February and set up another day.
Wow, okay.
So just contact me and we'll figure out something if you have clubs that need help.
So you can contact Barbara directly. You can contact me. We have lots of tools in our toolbox. So make sure that if you have any questions, concerns, or problems, that you share them so that we can make them come around for you. That this should be an awesome year for you. This should not be a problem for you. So please involve us and please let us help you if you're having any problems.
Carla, Carla, I
Yes.
have a question either for you or AC. You know, what Ralph said where he presented that governor's award to there. Tomorrow, I'm going to Marshfield to do the installation, and Melissa Smith has held it together for 2 years, and she put up with me pestering her, when you're going to call me and all that stuff. And I happen to have one of those that I got somewhere. I mean, I know where I got it, but anyway, would it be all right if I just take that with me and then give it to Melissa tomorrow and just honor her for holding the club together for 2 years and pulling it out, because she's tolerated me plus worked with the club? That's just a question.
That is a question for AC. AC?
If I let Ralph do it, I'd certainly let Les do it.
Okay, well,
Okay.
You're
representing me and Carla, so remember
No,
that.
no, Les, Ralph can do it. You can't do it. He's got his favorite children.
oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Les. Hey, man, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
Well, being he has a plane, he can just fly into Marshfield tomorrow with no problem.
There you go.
That's right.
He's one of Les's pro days anyway.
That's
I-
right. That's right.
Okay, we need to move on to item
Yes, we do.
6, and that is mid-year education days. And Katie just sent me something. She was not able to be with us, but just to reiterate, we do have the 19th of February scheduled in Bentonville Rogers in Arkansas, the 26th of February in Hot Springs, Arkansas, the 5th of March in Kansas City, and the 12th of March in St. Louis. Now, we do not have the exact locations in those cities as yet, but that will be forthcoming. So get those on your calendar. Those are definitely the dates. They are going to operate, and since some of us know more about that than others because they had to be stopped when they were almost right after they were started because of COVID. So this is a 1-day event. Generally, it's going to operate from 9 o'clock in the morning till maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that gives people time to get there in the morning from up to 2 hours around those cities and get home in time for a slightly late supper at night. So there is no overnight. There is no hotel room. There is nothing but the drive time that you have. So it becomes very easy for folks to attend this, where we were having a great deal of difficulty with a midwinter convention where people had to drive a long way, spend a lot of money. We're hoping that this is going to work a whole lot better for everybody. So once again, be sure you share this in your area with the appropriate places that we're going to be. Item 7 is we do have still one lieutenant governor vacancy. And I'm going to preface this by saying I would rather have no lieutenant governor than an ineffectual lieutenant governor. I am so proud of the folks that we have this year working, and I think we're going to have an excellent year because we have folks that care. So if anyone is aware of anywhere, AC is helping me with this, and Hyacinth Dion actually gave us some names. A Gerald Pruden out of Hope, Barbara, I can't read my own writing. Barbara.
Well, she must be good.
Must be. Esther Bird and Jennifer Coleman out of El Dorado. And Barbara is out of Foreman.
Barbara Brown. It's Barbara Brown.
Okay, but no N or something. It seemed like it was less. Anyhow, does anyone know any of those 4 people, anybody that's on the club, that they would want to recommend them?
I know maybe 2 or 3 of them. And I will be happy tomorrow to get in touch with them and see what they're saying and report back to you.
Well, and if you know 2 or 3 of them, please prioritize those calls with the person that you think would be most effective being number 1 call.
Yes.
Because that is a very important thing. Unfortunately, I do need to also share with you that our Lieutenant Governor in Division 9, Jim Fritz, has tendered his resignation. He is having some health problems and he needs to not be working as Lieutenant Governor. So we are looking for a replacement. I have spoken to one person and I'm gonna see how that plays out. And then after that, I may need to have some input from somebody about Lieutenant Governor for 9.
Question, is Jim going to stay with Key Club or?
No, sir, he has tendered across the board except his Kiwanis membership in the Gravois Club.
Okay, just information.
Other information, John Hoffman, who is the Lieutenant Governor of Division 4, is still in the hospital and he's struggling with his health. So at this point in time, we don't know if he's going to be able to carry on his duties. But I know Bill Dooley and Don Kaufman are doing everything they can to help out. So if anybody knows anyone in Division 4 that could help out, that would be great.
And John has done a full year already, so we
Yes.
may need, because of his health issues, we may need to be looking at a replacement there. Okay, also district chair vacancies. We have youth protection and risk management and interclub, for which we do not have a chair. Does anyone know anyone that they'd like to recommend for those district chairs that I might speak with them. Or would anyone on this call like to step up and say they'd be interested in that? Okay, why are there crickets? Why are there crickets on this call?
Well, this is Tiffany Ermeling. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I can probably, if you could, I'd like to talk to you about the youth protection because I do that for the Archdiocese. That I could probably do that pretty easily. If you could just tell me how you want it done, I would be interested to talk to you about that. So
I would appreciate that. Thank
I
you.
could take that off your plate. Probably.
I will get with you.
All right, thank you.
For anyone that's curious, I've gotten a question of what does the interclub chair do? We strongly encourage clubs to interclub with other clubs in their divisions and in their regions and throughout Kiwanis, throughout Missouri, Arkansas. So this person keeps track of the number of points that a club gets. We are in the process of rehabbing our formula, and then they let us know who actually is deserving of a patch. We usually give out midwinter for the clubs that travel the furthest or complete the most amount of interclubs during the year. So that's what the interclub chair does. And risk management, that's the person that we call if we feel like there's a liability that the district has that we need to talk to somebody about clarification. And they work with Kiwanis International that has a whole risk management team about what are the liabilities that we deal with on a regular basis through Kiwanis.
So you don't actually have a huge role to play in that. You more are a traffic cop to send people to the right person
Place.
when they have an issue.
Right, correct.
So does it necessarily have to be 3 separate people?
No, but it could equal, take some time, all of them together. And if you're lieutenant governor, it might be a little, but I know you're Wonder Woman, Tiffany.
Well, I'm still dealing with this with the CYC, which I've got to get off this call to deal with some issues there. But so I was just wondering. So
Well,
just
and
offering my assistance.
I
You-
appreciate that.
Youth Protection does training at the education days typically too,
Mhm.
so.
And at conference if needed.
All right. So I think I can manage that.
Thank you.
Okay, and if you have to get off, Tiffany, did you have any issues or problems, which was under the next topic, that you needed anything or needed to discuss?
Oh, not at this particular time. I've got all my clubs installed except for one. I think we're all moving in the right direction. We want to grow everything out here. So hopefully we get new members and charge forward in this new year. So
Okay,
Good job.
thank you.
Carla,
And yes, AC.
excuse me, did she say she was gonna take the risk management?
No, she's taking
At
youth
youth
protection.
protection, and we may discuss risk management.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking, the member in our club that handles our risk management might be interested doing it for international, but I'd have to ask him.
Okay, would you do that and get back with me? Who is that you're talking about?
Larry Clark. He's a very sharp individual.
Okay,
He's a good guy. He's been a Kiwanian 30, 40 years. And he's sharp, so I'll ask him tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
okay. Before we go further with issues, we do have some folks on this call that I want to introduce. Jerry Martin has just taken over as the Action Club Chair. And I need to thank you, Jerry, and see if you have something to say.
That's wonderful.
No, Carla, I don't really have anything to say at this point.
Okay.
I love Action Club. I've been involved in our local Action Club here. Can y'all see me or?
Yep.
Yes,
We got you.
Okay. And you can hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
But when Carla told me she was looking for someone from Action Club, of course, Dolores Stamps, who's a member of my club, has done that for a number of years. And her and I were involved in building the Action Club here in Springdale. And it's such a great program that we sponsor in Kiwanis, and I really have a passion for it. And I'm just hoping that I can help keep our clubs together that we have going, get some new clubs going. And mainly, I told Carla, my number one priority, or not necessarily my number one priority, but one of my priorities is going to be to find someone younger in our district that can take on Action Club in a long-term basis. But I'm excited about doing it, Carla, and I hope that I can help in any way.
thank you very much. And Roger Jesperson's on the call. Did you have anything to tell us, Roger?
Just the Kiwanis Children's Fund is again looking at ways that they can help our clubs to make their annual contributions to the Kiwanis Children's Fund. They're looking at starting a program where clubs give $1 a day, but some of our clubs I know are small enough not to do that. But I'll be in contact with you, and if you have any questions about the Children's Fund, give me a call.
Okay, and Roger has taken over from Nancy Hoff on Kiwanis Children's Fund. He previously was doing all of Eliminate, which is a part of the Children's Fund, but he will have the entire fund at this point. And who else am I missing? Because I had to get off my computer that wasn't working right, and I'm on my iPad now and I can't see everybody. Do we have any other chairs on the call that need?
Paul has his hand up.
Okay, Paul.
Yes, Dolores Stamps has found that we have a blog page on the MOARC webpage. She's been posting blogs, messages there every month, mostly about the Beatrice Johnson Youth Camp. We would like to publicize it. This month, she even came up with a reward if anybody finds it and asks for it. So anyway, please pass the word. It's out there. It's one of those things that we inherited with the new Kiwanis site. And she found it and has been, but we can certainly put other kinds of messages up there about the good things about Kiwanis.
Cool. Thank you very much, Paul. Anyone else?
Yes, Carla. I am the Builders Club District Administrator, and we had a really good Zoom call with the Builders Club people at KI. We're still trying to continue to build new Builders Clubs, middle school level, but we have several that are active, and with COVID, we've had a lot that are not. So we're trying to rejuvenate, and they've got a theme of homecoming. Everybody's supposed to start up and have a homecoming back to Builders Clubs.
That's good.
Thank you, Bill.
Carla?
Anyone else? Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure everybody understands we've got a Kiwanagram that's going to be coming out this week. Please let your clubs know if they have anything they want to put in the Kiwanagram. They need to send it to either me or Diane Baker, and we can get that into the Kiwanagram. And if there's anything that you want to share into the Kiwanagram, please let us know so we can get that in the next publication.
And Mary, would you tell them her email address?
Yeah,
Because it's easier to send it directly to her than it is
give me a
to forward.
second. I don't have it in front of me, but it's
You're Kiwanis MOARC, she's MOARC Kiwanis.
MOARC Kiwanagram. MOARC Kiwanagram at gmail.com. I'll write it in the chat.
That's great. And this is really something that you ought to make sure you share with your clubs and get them to send stuff into her because we do such wonderful things. We need to let everybody know. It's going to give somebody ideas about different service projects, different things that they're doing that they hadn't thought about before. So get them to share the good news. It's important to do so. And we have 5 minutes left. Does anybody, any of the lieutenant governors, do you have any issues or problems that you'd like to bring up at this time? Or some good news? We would take good news as well.
I guess the best news I've got in Region 3 right now is we revived the Marshfield Club. We finally got them back going, got a new president tomorrow and all of that. So that's
wonderful.
That's great news. High five.
Are we making any progress on the Cuba Club?
We are there. Actually, is Don Loopold still on the call? And Marietta?
Yeah, they're both on.
Yeah.
Don and I met with them last week, well, actually the 30th, and they still remain light in their numbers, but I got an email from Nora, the secretary, the other day. Their Builders Club did meet and they have 27 kids on their Builders Club roster.
Awesome.
And they have 10 of those kids that helped with a block party in Cuba last Saturday night. So she's hoping that the more the kids get involved, she can get their faculty sponsor at school and that type of thing into their club. They did ask each of them to each member to bring in one new person and see, how that goes. I even gave them a couple of names of people that I knew in Cuba that might make good Kwanians. So they have not given up. They might be on a ventilator, but they have not given up.
Well, and as AC says, each one reach one, and that sure helps things.
Yeah,
Also,
they're still alive and kicking, just not kicking very high.
we would be happy to come in and help them talk to folks if we get a list of people that we can target a date and a group of people to talk to. So
yeah, and we did ask them to do that. So.
And I think I did mention when I was with Don last week, is there availability of a Cuba chamber list?
Yeah, that's common knowledge around Cuba because they're like St. James. They have a little publication that tells you who all is in the Chamber of Commerce. So.
Okay, and anybody can get access to that because some of them you have to be a chamber member to have access to the.
Yeah, I don't think it's that way in Cuba, but I will check.
Okay, that can be very helpful.
Right.
Thank you.
You bet.
It's great news and we're glad that you're working on it. Thank you so much. 2 minutes. Anybody else?
Carla,
Go ahead, AC.
Mine's just real quick. Today I was out raising money for our barbecue. And I went into one of my dealers and told them all about it. And they wrote me a check. And I said, how long have we been doing this? And she said, AC, you've been in here probably last 25 years, once a year, picking up a check. And I said, Dana, have I ever asked you to join my club? And she said, no. I said, I got an application in the car and I went out and gave it to her. She's filling it out. Each one reach one. 25 years, I've never asked her to join my club. Shame on me. Anyway, go ahead.
Good job, sir. Thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
we all need to just keep it in mind. It's such a silly thing that we don't.
As I've said before, the answer is no unless you ask.
You got it, Les.
Okay, I have one more thing. One
Yes,
more
ma'am.
thing.
30 seconds. What you need, Mary?
Can you hear me?
No.
You can't hear it?
Hear something.
Oh, that's not the real one.
Yeah, it is. Oh, no, it's not ours, but I don't have ours recorded.
I'll have to send you that recording so we can sing.
Carla, can you send a link, the Moark lyrics and a link to the recording?
Possibly. I
Okay.
think so. I think so. I sometimes have trouble grabbing it, and I thought it was downloaded onto my iPad, but it still goes out and searches it from, maybe it's on the cloud on my iPad, because it searches every time. I have to be connected to the internet to actually get the
Okay.
going.
Well, that way we could learn the lyrics and be practicing.
That would be good. That would be good. Anyhow, thank you very much, all my marvelous lieutenant governors and everyone else that is on the call. It happens because we all work together, and I thank you so very much. We're good till next month. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a
See ya.
great night.
You.